Ladies and gents, welcome to CG Reacts, and this is Delta Force Inside America's Secret Selection by channel Hobback Coulter. Okay. Portion of this video has been removed due to copyright. Copyright of what? Okay, this is about Delta Force, and this like 3 months old, already has a 2 million views. Yeah, Nicolas Maduro disliked the video. Alright, does he have access to internet? I don't know. Yeah, so we hear about Delta Force nowadays a lot, and I kind of knew about Delta Force, like knowing how elite they are, but like Delta Force for a long time were, not so known. Like US didn't even acknowledge that they're real. That's how shadow and in the down low they were, and now they openly acknowledge Delta Force is a thing, but still doesn't give that much information. So it's gonna be interesting to see how badass Delta Force is. Let's watch this one.
Delta is the only unit that I know of, especially in the Tier 1 side of the house, that, they recruit from everywhere.
They decide, you know what, we need to go out to all the military services, Marines, Navy, everybody, and give them an opportunity also, right? We need more bodies. We're not getting enough bodies. For example, one course, 100 candidates. Of the 100 candidates that started, one got selected.
The requirements for selection are very high. There are huge demands on their physical capabilities.
There's a vetting process, there's an assessment process. Every operator, every person is selected.
The unit
That's
has
Chinook.
tryouts twice a year, right? So in the fall course and the spring
So if Chinook is used, it's probably Delta Force. Is that what it is? There you go.
course. And they have 100 candidates per class.
It's a hard physical course. I would argue it's probably the hardest physical course in the world, only in that they don't break you down, you break yourself down. And once your body's broken down, then all you got left is your brain.
What is it like when you first show up?
Day one, PT test, swim test, 18-mile rucksack march.
Holy shit.
And if you don't make the cut on any of them, you're gone.
And so
18 miles? I'm trying to visualize the distance. Holy shit. And is that with all your equipment and shit? Oh my god. And this is after you swim and all that, and how do you not get rhabdo? That's what I'm thinking at that level. What is the level of when you get a rhabdo, right? I don't know. That's just fucked up.
what happens is you get there, they don't have a personal conversation with you, they don't talk to you, they don't smile, they don't frown at you. It's like robots.
There's no cadre factor in there. Like, there's none. It's you against the clock, and whatever the standard is what you're going against.
So you're literally going through Delta Force assessment selection by yourself. You're not going through with a group. You're not carrying.
Does this guy have a clearance to say all this? Because Delta Force was not acknowledged for a long time. And I'm guessing this guy is the Delta Force who's going out and telling all these people. I'm sure he got the green light, okay, sure, you can talk about it.
Logs. You're not rolling around the sand. You're not doing flutter kicks. It's day in, day out. It's just nothing but overland movement. You don't know what the time standards are. You don't know what the distances are. The only thing you get is do the best you can.
Land nav is just problem solving. What do all those lines on the map mean? How long is it, what's the best route that I should take from this point to the next point? Is it a straight line? Well, I don't know. What's the terrain between me and a straight line? There's a mountain between us. I don't know. Maybe I should go around it. Maybe I should go right up. How tall is that mountain? The problem solving in land nav is a very slow, methodical, yet you'll have to do it for a long time, always be right, and do it when you're tired.
It is not based off of your ability to work as a team. In fact, there's no team events. It's, do you have the grit, the discipline, and did you prepare prior to showing up to be successful?
You're pushing yourself, and you're pushing yourself. And then, somewhere deep into the core.
You know what parallels I can think of? Fallout New Vegas. There are two type of badass there. One's is a ranger, like old, like ranger. And then there are NCR elites, two are different people, right? Different type of thing. When I see NCR elite, I think of like more like a Navy SEALs that work in a group and shit like that. Rangers are badass, but like singular. I don't know, it's a weird why you bring up video game. But like, yeah, this is basically one-man team type of thing. Like, you're supposed to be problem solving. You're supposed to be badass at what you do. Working together group is not your sole point. While Navy SEALs are probably that. They work in a group. You're supposed to solve things. So you might not have the best intel. You're supposed to make shit do. While Navy SEAL they are badass, but they need intel and everything. This is what I'm getting from this.
Of course, you're physically just wrecked. You got blisters all over your feet, from walking in the rain and, in wet jungle boots and walking through the creeks and streams. Walking up and down hills, your feet are sliding inside your boots, so your feet are like hamburger. Your knees are shot, your legs are shot, your back is shot, everything's just shot. You're soaking wet every day, you're freezing. And physically, you're just wrecked.
They're having an opportunity to see you make decisions. They're seeing you kind of weigh out the pros and the cons. And that's the first look. That's the first thing that they're looking for and assessing you on as an individual. How does this guy individually deal with adversity? How does this guy individually deal with ambiguity and difficulty and all these types of things and problem solving?
You don't really know where exactly you're going.
No. You might have 4 points one day, you might have 6 points the next day.
How long does this last?
6 days. And then on the 7th day, you do the 40-miler.
And it's at your heaviest weight, at your least amount of strength remaining, and you do the 40-mile hike.
40-mile hike, by the way. Not a 40-mile straight line run. No, it's a fucking hike. 40-mile. Yeah, I can't do that shit. I just can't. I can't even picture that. 40 miles. Damn.
And so I felt like I was doing pretty good. I turned some quick times, some really good times. I could do 18 miles with 45 pounds, combat boots after a 5-event physical fitness test at night with a weapon, no water. Water wasn't included in the weight yet. And I could do 18 miles in 2 hours and 53 minutes. That's smoking, man. That's smoking.
£50 weight, all that shit, 2 hours, 18 miles. Yeah. You're broken, you're tired, implying that if you're thrown into enemy territory, that's how you're gonna be. So Delta Force is breeded, is that a word? Bred in a way that they're supposed to solve the problem. And this is basically Jason Statham movie. That's what this is. You're supposed to solve it. This is basically Rambo movie, right? How Rambo was. I'm here to save you from Rambo type of shit. They're supposed to problem solve and work like that.
Yeah, and it's not like you do it fresh.
Yeah.
You're doing it at the end of selection. Like you've been losing weight and you've been gathering injuries, this whole time. Like, you very well may started out with a limp.
And so there comes a point where now physically you're just running on fumes, right? This is where guys break down. This is where guys quit. This is where guys fail. They don't make the time anymore. They got nothing left in the tank and they just can't make it over the finish line.
But of the 110 that started, 6 of us completed the selection process and 3 of us got selected.
I went to a selection with 150 dudes. Only 4 of us got selected. No shit. Only 4.
So 6 of them completed, but 3 were selected. So imagine there are other 3 like, God damn, I did everything.
Doesn't matter how good you are at land nav and you can carry a rucksack for a month on end. That's going to be our starting point, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be a world-class hostage rescue operator. Now, we know you're the type of person we want. Can you do the job?
You finish the
stress phase, the physical portion of selection, and then you have the board.
You sit in front of a board of all the sergeant majors, all the commanders, all the shrinks, and you're in one chair in front of them on a little stage. They just go around the room and grill you and ask you questions. You go on a mission, and it's a no-fail mission, and you got a 6-man team, and on the way in, one guy freaks out, and, what do you do?
You're gonna get a lot of questions thrown at you, and they're to find out exactly who you are and what you're made of.
You're trying to be cool, but it's hard to be cool, even though all the sergeant majors and commanders and shrinks and everybody's standing in front of you, and I'm trying to keep my shit together. I just want to get out of that room and go out and scream somewhere,
Isn't that risky though? Like, it's one thing to do something, it's one thing to say and describe something. Isn't there where someone would fail when otherwise they would not fail in real world? Like, you can't really ask, if this happened, what would you do? I don't know what to do. I'm standing here. If in the field, they would think differently. I don't know. It's like trying to put words into something, that's not so easy.
We have assessed you and feel like you are the correct raw material to become a Delta operator. Now we want to train you and evaluate you to see if in fact you can become a functional member of the unit, a Delta operator.
How long is the training course?
It's about 6 months of, we're very heavily focused in marksmanship and the close quarters battle.
Now, when you're in the operator training course, they're seeing, how does this guy fit into a team? How does this guy understand how these are the plays we run, and this is how we run the plays, and you need to run them the way we run them.
I was shocked at how much training every single aspect took, from infill to exfil method. It's an unbelievable amount of time to get to the level of skill that you need to execute a special operations mission.
You're fast roping in at night, door charges, flashbangs, live people. You have live bad guys, you got to shoot.
Attack people with sonic weapons. It's an everyday thing. Yeah, this is where Nicolas Maduro disliked the video.
Ask them.
It's the most complex of all combat-related environments. You've got stuff going on in different rooms, you've got people coming from different angles, you've got stuff overhead, you've got stuff in your ears, you've got flashbangs, you've got door charges. It's just so many things going on at one time.
There were times we had robots, that you had to shoot. You had chickens and balloons and loud music and strobe lights, and you're with 4 of the guys on your team, and you're shooting stuff that's running past you.
Okay, which game was that? One of the Modern Warfare, right? I'm pretty sure, like old one, where you start and like you have to go through this kind of like a training stage like that to shoot, like there is a timed thing. It was an original Modern Warfare. Was it Modern Warfare 2? I don't exactly remember the original one.
You got to make sure that you don't miss or get a through and through shot and hit your partner over here, and so you had to always have situation awareness. You had to know where the rest of your team was at. This is one room so far. We still got to go in other rooms.
My friends who were ahead of me had just graduated SERE, and are some of these stories they hear like breaking fingers and knocking you out and punching you, and like how bad can they torture you? They're like, oh, that's not true. They can't break your fingers. They can only open hand hit you. They can't punch you. And I remember going, oh, really? You're gonna slap me and think I'm gonna break? So I go into SERE school, and we're finally going to Camp Slappy, which is the end of SERE school. And so I can hear the gunfire outside the truck. I'm like, yeah, all right. I knew this was coming. They pull me out, and they ask, like, hey, what's name and social security number? And sign here, whatever they're asking me to do. And then I was basically, no, and I ain't gonna give that to you. And he goes, are you sure? And this 6'6" black man that was probably 230, 40 pounds, a large man, slaps me with an open hand. It rocked me. And I remember going, I underestimated that. That slap.
I mean, the whole industry of power slap exists. I mean, slap. Mm-hmm.
Really hurt. And then he goes, "You want to give me the information now?" "Nah, no, sir. I'm not going to give you that information." And he slaps me again in the same exact spot. The first one hurt. The second one felt worse than the first one. And by the time he hit me the third and the fourth time in my face, I said, "Where do you want me to sign? I've underestimated this whole experience. Where do you want me to sign?"
Okay, so you're not supposed to sign. Is that what it is? Why did he refuse to give the social security and things?
Guys will think that, "Hey, you can't break me with slapping," and they're super creative, and they'll just go pick your friend, and they'll just slap on your friend and tell you, "This is because of you," and they'll just keep slapping your friend, and your friend eventually is going to look up at you like, "Why are you doing this to me?" "Why? Yeah, you are doing this to me."
Delta Force as an entity is really only gaining anywhere from a handful to maybe 20 at the most guys a year. Yeah.
You feel like you're cool, and then you get to your team and you do your first thing with them and you go, "Guys suck." You're doing CQB and they're, you know, you're moving at a fast pace and they're running, and you're like, "Fuck, I suck." They're taking running headshots and you're like, "Dude, like, I thought I was good."
Yeah.
And then really, you know, being there, the rest of the time there is just struggling to keep up with everyone around you.
And if you don't keep up, even though you just made it through all this training, and they'll say it all the time, it's not personal, it's just business. And if you don't keep up, see ya. This just wasn't the job for you.
I didn't even have.
This John Wick level shit. "Oh, this wasn't personal. Yeah, this is bye." Like, come on, man. After all this shit.
To pull security on the ground because my weapon system and my laser and night vision capability, where I had FLIR, thermal, you know, cuts of spectrum that I can't even articulate, that would watch everything in front of me. 7 layers high.
No shit.
7 layers high, tracking everything. So
it's some fucking Terminator shit.
That is.
The Delta Force is the Army's top covert combat unit, with a storied history of hunting terrorists and rescuing hostages around the world.
Delta was designed to be a hostage rescue unit, you know, where you're designed to shoot around the non-combatants. We were designed to shoot around the kids, you know, and we became a much more direct action unit with Iraq and Afghanistan.
Delta Force, a unit so secret, it's often said that Delta doesn't exist.
More is known about the U.S. military's other elite unit, SEAL Team 6.
Why Navy SEALs have become popularized in media? Because you're allowed to talk about them.
Right.
Where you're not really allowed to talk about Delta.
Right.
Like Delta is a whole different caliber.
It's just always found it fascinating that, you know, it is the most capable unit in the fucking world.
All the kinds of things that scare ordinary people to death, these are the kinds of things Delta Force loves to do.
But some of Delta Team's harrowing stories will never even be told because the
That just makes sense to me. Like I said in the start of the video, Navy SEALs feel like elite trained soldiers who gets the intel and a job to do an objective. Navy SEALs make sense. Delta Force is like one thing above. Who are like I said, the movie Rambo. You know how that like Rambo is trained to do this. He can survive on his own type of shit. Maybe that's too theatrical, I don't know. But this is like that. Like you're trained in a way that you have to do things and solve things your own self. You have to make up your own mind with a little intel. It kind of makes sense.
unit purposefully keeps a very low profile.
The Delta Force doesn't talk much about itself. Indeed, if you talk to the Army, they'll tell you the thing doesn't exist in the first place.
They're also lethal. Right. And that's, you start to get a humbling understanding of why we are the best, most powerful military in the world.
People have no idea the difference, the drastic difference between
You know what I think? I just thought, why did they use Delta Force against Maduro? They could have used something like Navy SEALs or something like that. Like they had an intel, they have a specific job. But I feel like they were not sure of their intel. And they wanted an instant effect and complete surety of success. So they like send in the best of the best. And I feel like Delta Force was so effective, and the way they did the warfare, all that sonic weapon thing might not be true, I'm thinking now, because probably Delta Force just used like flashbangs and shit just in the right way that it caused concussion to the enemy where they got confused. So they thought aliens are attacking, but it's really Delta Force because they're that good. I feel like that's why Delta Force was used, because they want absolute surety and instant result.
Between a Tier 1 element CQB and everyone else. A regular SEAL unit, a Green Beret, ODA, a Ranger squad, they're all good at CQB, and those guys are a danger to us and themselves if they were to try to get in the stack with a Tier 1 element.
There you go. Right, well, there you go. Delta Force. That was badass. I don't know why some portion was removed because of copyright. Like, why would you copyright like this? Like, more like governmental thing. I don't know. Do government videos have copyrights? I don't know. But yeah, some podcast videos probably, right? I don't know. But yeah, this is some badass shit. Right, well, if you like my reaction, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.